Oh, thank you. No. With my fat fingers and everything, then I was like, oh my God, I never even wished her happy birthday.
Well, and my sister's is today.
Oh my word.
Yeah. So.
Well, happy birthday to her too.
Does that mean a double cake?
Well, no, we usually just have one cake that has both our names on it. So.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Did you guys, when you were growing up, did you celebrate them together?
Together.
Yeah.
Which I think we both resented when we were kids, but now we love it.
Yeah.
Now we love it.
Leslie's birthday and mine the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you celebrate together?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, I'm going to run to the restroom one more time. Of course, I had to have this coffee. This is going to be a disaster.
Oh, Vance really,
What's that card Vance giving you?
huh? Save the date. Not the good. Raining, I couldn't ride. She says, well, let's not put rain down. Just enough that would make it miserable. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can somebody bring it out to you?
Home and get it, then go down.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I brought my own notebook. That way I look really busy.
Yeah. Get some tic-tac-toe going up here. Looks like we're really doing something. Mercy.
Larissa just said that the boys are already up this morning. Yeah, they are. So funny when he said that night before last to me when they were down. Larissa came down the house and she was getting ready to go. She was telling Henry to get in the car. Let's go. And Henry looks up at me and he goes, "Say, do you want to go? Oh, or do you want to stay here? How exactly?" I said, "No, like he was wanting me to say." Basically, he wanted to stay at the house, but he wanted me to say to him, "Do you want to go home or do you want to stay here?" It was just, we're getting ready to wait to go out for the relay. She did her first round. And I'm standing in the back. And which something. Even on Sunday, because I hadn't seen people, because I was like, it's just that every, and does that make sense? I knew. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted, I was the person that honestly, you could, I don't need, let me put it this way. I don't need to be a drug counselor. I am very confident. My most therapeutic comfort is living back from the dishes. I don't have to be out here and all that. Yeah. It's fine.
Well, you got it done, got it over with.
The boys are out this morning already. Yeah.
It's when my one grandson is. He's the youngest one. He's a crack dog. And the other one, he'll sleep till 9:30. He'll roll over and look at you a little bit, and he'll roll back and go to sleep. I took a picture of him. He likes to sleep on the couch. He was up. I was watching the window. He looked at me. I said, "Come on, back to sleep for us. Sleep yourself." I was already up having coffee, but he was like, "I'm gonna sleep a little longer." Good for you.
My boys this morning.
Oh my goodness. Oh, they're ready for Halloween, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
That's a little better.
I wore the under, I didn't wear the outer, which has the ghost. Yeah, so, but I wore the part that goes underneath the ghost.
I got tickled.
I almost wore the ghost. I was like, I was really wanting to wear the ghost. But I thought, no, that probably wouldn't be right for.
Yeah, I got Marissa has some material that she wants me to make her a ribbon skirt, and it's
October 10th.
It's a seasonal print, obviously.
My sister's on her way.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
Recording in progress.
Okay. We track each other.
Oh my gosh.
That quite is.
Emma put me on 360, like 360.
That's what that is.
Graham, where are you? I'm like, look at your phone. Or it'll be, Graham, what are you doing? Where am I at? Look at your phone. My poor grandkids.
Recording stopped.
You want some water?
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
okay.
Marty was.
Do you need to stir that up a little more, Lloyd?
Yeah.
My boys are up and at it.
Oh, aren't they cute in their little jammies?
Oh, yeah. If the nation needs to learn how to raise their pointy did best in what's that little, I can't think of the company that sells sleepers. What's that little sleepy, LAL sleepies or something, little
brand.
sleepies or something. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you didn't over traffic, wasn't there? So what roads and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I was texting her at 5:30 this morning going, I'm seeing this storm coming in. Please be safe.
Right.
You might want to leave a little early. Okay, it's time to get up.
Everybody's a morning person.
Her dogs get her up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm already on the phone call. So you were almost halfway through. Yeah. We're about done.
But she said she was dog sitting some dogs that are storm
Lloyd
season.
and I are already on.
And I'm like, it's not like my three who sit out in the catio just lounging around watching the thunder and lightning roll through. I took pictures of him out there, laying out there just kind of like looking around and stuff. Like
DDA
the
meeting
coolest
at
thing
1:30
ever. I was like,
Oklahoma and Auburn play at 2:30.
It's 2:30?
I think that's what it was. No, it was 3:30. Might be 3:30 Eastern. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
That means if we get home by halftime, that's when it gets interesting, or it's all over.
It's all over with the crying at that time. It may be the latter.
Yeah.
You never know.
I know they come up every once in a while and whipped Alabama.
there she is.
It was all over How about you in middle first quarter?
Well, the thing about these SEC teams, everybody is loaded with athletes. So you can't count any of them out
No,
on a given
no.
day.
You know, right now, Oklahoma is ranked #1 in the SEC.
Really?
Oklahoma, that just came out. They got that powerhouse quarterback. Man, it's good. Yeah. That quarterback is something else. If he doesn't get hurt. First time Tulsa beat OSU, you always got to worry
Woo-hoo
about
for
it.
TU.
I know.
Get hurt.
I'm like, what am I like, did I?
That's what happened to OSU's. Yeah.
Time.
Programmatic. I'm on it.
So the Quapaw Nation Business Committee meeting for Saturday, September 20th, 2025 will now come to order at 9 a.m. Barbara Collier, would you please lead us in the opening prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this beautiful rain that you blessed us with today. And just guide and direct this meeting. Help each and every one to have a open spirit, a good spirit. Talk from their heart. Be what they need to be as Quapaw people. Just guide each and every one of us that we can do and say what we need to, what you want us to, what your guidance is. Be with all the businesses, be with all the elders that aren't here, Lord, those that are sick and quicker, those that have lost loved ones. Just be with them and comfort them, Lord. And guide and direct us all as we leave here and go our ways. Be with each and every one and help our nation to heal and move forward in a positive manner. In your precious name, I thank you for all your blessings. Amen.
Amen. Secretary Treasurer Valier, would you please take roll call and declare quorum?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair Supranall,
Present.
Vice Chair McKibben. Secretary Treasurer Valier, present. Member Mercer,
Present.
Member Davis,
Present.
Member Buffalo,
Present.
Member Giveswater.
Present.
Madam Chair, I declare quorum.
Would you also please call for the orders of the day?
Madam Chair, I call for the orders of the day.
We've got a little bit of an echo up here. Has that gone away?
No, I think maybe it's just now.
Okay, let's see if it,
No, it's still there.
yeah. Is that any better? Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, I had already written it.
Okay. Are we okay? Sounds good.
Sounds better.
Thank you all for your patience while we resolve technical difficulties that inevitably occur. Thank you to the team for responding so quickly. Business Committee, are there any corrections to the documents listed as part of the consent agenda? The consent agenda includes the August 16th, 2025 meeting minutes, the directors and subcommittee reports as submitted. Hearing no objection, we'll proceed to the vote. All those in favor of adopting and approving the August 16th, 2025 meeting minutes, the directors and subcommittee reports as distributed, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The August 16th, 2025 meeting minutes, the directors and subcommittee reports are adopted as distributed. The following tribal members passed away since we last met: Michelle Lavette Atkinson, Sharon Faye Fowler. Please lift these Quapaw families and all families in your prayers, and let us join in a moment of silence. Going again. We do have some announcements this morning. Vice Chair McKibben, would you please provide an update on Congressman Joshua Keene's town hall that we attended in Miami?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me.
On August 26th, several of us on the business committee went over and listened to Josh Burkeen's kind of explanation on the big, beautiful bill. Burkeen made 20 stops in the state this go-round, and he has, since he has been in office, he's done over 100 town halls. So he is putting himself out there in front of the people, which is good for him, and he has always been cordial and accepting to listen to the Quapaw Nation. He has been, actually came out and visited with us here, was able to stop by his office, Linda Vallier and I, when we were in Washington, D.C. So he's been open and receptive to listening to us and was always been very diplomatic with us. He talked for well over an hour, so I'll try to keep this as brief as possible when I'm summarizing kind of the things he talked about within the big, beautiful bill. One thing that kind of hits close to home here, rural hospital stabilization. Out of the big, beautiful bill, $50 billion is set aside for rural hospitals, but that's over the course of 5 years, so that really isn't a whole lot of money to go around when you kind of think about all the rural hospitals in the outlying areas. Of course, in typical politician fashion, he makes it sound wonderful, all the things that the big, beautiful bill includes, but some of the things that they took away, some wind and solar tax credits that have been in place for over 30 years that the taxpayers are funding, trying to slow the growth of the Medicaid spend. It's been at a steep incline, growing faster than the rate of inflation, so that has been a difficult thing for the nation to balance. Now in Medicaid, they're going to do a requalifier every 6 months. Folks are going to have to do a requalification for their Medicaid benefits, and those on it, there's an expectation, of course, they say this, 20 hours per work per week or community service, things like that. And of course, he's always making it sound like the top 1%, they pay the bulk of the income taxes in the country. Just has a way of making it sound really, really good, which don't get me wrong, there are some good things in this big, beautiful bill, and there's some things that are going to hurt us. So, but again, Josh Burkeen has always been receptive and open to visiting with the Quapaw Nation. So, thank you.
Thank you. Member Mercer, would you please give a O-gah-pah Tikida project update?
Yes, Madam Chair, this will be short. If you've been driving by, you notice to the back, we have 4 houses left to put siding on that's setting out there. By the end of this month, we hope to have 4 more ready to be occupied. We are supposed to, depending on the weather, Monday or Tuesday, they're supposed to bring in and set the last house in the project. So hopefully by the end of next week, we will have all 30 homes up and standing, and they are all in various stages of completion, which, it takes a process. You have to coordinate your plumbers and electricians, everything. So it's moving along really good. We will have that will give us, end of this month, will give us our 20 homes. Once they're occupied, then we will have met the obligations of the grant, which they had to be occupied by next April. So we will be in them hopefully 6 months ahead of schedule. The first 20. The last 10, now, that isn't going to happen.
Thank you. Good progress. Member Gibbs Water, would you please give an update on the powwow grounds and the Longhouse improvements?
Yeah. So the Beaver Creek Springs project with Native Strategies to shore up the sides of the creek to bring back real estate behind camps all down the sides. We had a handful of concerns and questions brought up by different tribe members and different departments. So we met with our EPA employees, our conservationists, our project manager and executive director of facilities, along with 3 different members of the business committee to discuss and go over those concerns and those potential scoping changes. Right now, the Native Strategies Engineering Company is going through those changes to see what it'll look like to the plans that were already formed at 90%. So we're just kind of waiting to hear back to see what the scope and changes are going to be. As far as Longhouse goes, there's still just a few more little touch-ups, paint jobs, installations, working on groundwork over there. If you guys go down there, you can see the progress that they've made so far. So really not too much, just a few more things, Seems
Good.
like it's always like that, just a few more things. But that's it. That's all there is.
Thank you so much.
Like always, if you got any questions, please reach out.
Member Buffalo, would you please share the nation's fiscal year 2026 goals?
Yes, Madam Chairman. Several months ago, the Business Committee started establishing through HR and Associates the goal for 2026, trying to basically free up money so we can offer more services to the general public of the nation. And I know that on the Facebook or whatever, I get in reports that people's complaining about us cutting budgets. We are not cutting budgets. I think the first goal will clarify that. Goal 1, by the end of FY26, reduce the amount of cash infused into tribal enterprises by 10% through improved revenue generation strategies and cost-cutting measures and operational efficiencies. Goal number 2, by the end of FY 2026, identify and develop 10% of Quapaw Nation emerging leaders, providing them with leadership, training, and mentorship to support the growth of revenue-producing enterprises by increasing their effectiveness and capacity for strategic decision-making. Goal number 3, by the end of FY 2026, implement a detailed budgeting and expenditure tracking system, ensuring that 100% of travel funds are accounted for by category and purpose, with monthly reports provided to leadership and quarterly reviews to assess budget alignment and efficiency. Goal number 4, by the end of FY 2026, create and implement a comprehensive set of clear guidelines, including objectives, policies, procedures, etc., that will be used for funding administration, ensuring all tribal departments and enterprises adhere to these guidelines, with regular training provided to staff and an annual review to assess compliance and effectiveness. Goal number 5, by December 2026, the tribal entity will develop and implement a comprehensive sovereign protection framework, including legal, culture, and economic strategies in collaboration with tribal leadership to safeguard and enhance tribal sovereignty. These goals will be cascaded down through each department to the very lowest employee. They're to establish 3 to 5 goals in conjunction with this. And by this means, we expect to have a more efficient government and operation of tribal entities. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Buffalo. Secretary Treasurer Valier, would you please address subcommittee appointments or vacancies?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So you heard last month that we had a couple of election committee vacancies. Lori Schaefer and Kim Dill are appointed to the vacant positions of the election committee. They both will have a term expiration of December 2028. Thank you, Lori and Kim, for your willingness to serve with the Quapaw Nation in this capacity. And if you two would please get with Frank Frazier, the chair of the election committee, and exchange information, that would probably be helpful. Last month, Abigail Loken declined her position on the Constitution Committee. This left a vacant position for them. Roman Kahiga will be appointed to that vacant position. The term expiration will be the conclusion of the work on the Constitution and when the Constitution Committee is disbanded. I would like to note that all the current members on the Constitution Committee are members that previously served on this committee. This committee is now complete and comprised of members who have been a part of drafting the Constitution that was presented at the July 4th, 2025 General Council meeting. And to dispel rumors, this committee is not comprised of any members that were not a part of drafting the Constitution. It is simply a reduction from 10 to 5 members. Thank you, Robin, for continuing to serve the Quapaw Nation in this capacity. Your hard work and dedication is greatly appreciated. Business Committee, do we have concurrence for these appointments?
Yes.
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 Recuse on the election.
Thank you. We have DDA and QCA vacancy announcement. The Quapaw Nation invites applicants from qualified, proactive, dedicated individuals for a position on the Downstream Development Authority, Quapaw Casino Authority. Interested candidates should submit a cover letter, updated resume, and copies of relevant academic and professional certificates to brent.devine@quapawnation.com or hand deliver them to the Quapaw Nation Administration Building. The deadline for submitting applications is Friday, September 26, 2025, end of business. QNGC, a Quapaw Nation Gaming Commission vacancy announcement. The Quapaw Nation invites applications from qualified, professional, and dedicated individuals for a position on the Quapaw Nation Gaming Commission. Interested candidates should submit a cover letter, updated resume, and copies of relevant academic and professional certificates to brent.devine@quapawnation.com or hand deliver them to the Quapaw Nation Administration Building. The deadline for submitting applications is Friday, September 22nd, 2025, end of business day. Just to kind of reiterate there, those are openings that are on the Downstream Development Authority as well as the Quapaw Nation Gaming Commission, and both deadlines for applications to be submitted is Friday, September 26th, 2025, end of business. Ganagay.
Well, thank you. Member Davis, would you please talk about the First American Museum Discovery Center opening that you and Vice Chair McKibben attended earlier this week?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Away. On Thursday, September 18th, Vice Chairman Mans McKibben and I traveled to the First Americans Museum in Oklahoma City to attend a ribbon cutting and reception for the Family Discovery Center located within the museum. The First Americans Museum, also referred to as FAM, is a museum in Oklahoma City. It was previously known as the American Indian Cultural Center and Museum. It opened in September of 2021. The mission of FAM is to serve as a dynamic center promoting awareness and educating the broader public about the unique cultures, diversity, history, contributions, and resilience of the First American nations in Oklahoma today. The newly opened Family Discovery Center is an active space with plenty of crawling and climbing activities, as well as interactive activities. When you enter the center, it is a giant pop-up book that literally comes to life. The center is filled with native stories and values, animal relatives, and Oklahoma's changing seasons. It is truly amazing. The event was well attended by tribal nations, non-tribally affiliated officials, and individuals. Vice Chair McKibben and I were thankful for the opportunity to attend the ribbon cutting and reception. Ganagay.
That's great. Sounds like an exciting center. Just a couple more announcements. The Business Committee is in the process of making some potential changes to O-gah-pah coffee. And once those decisions are made, it will be communicated with everybody. Regarding the efforts on decreasing the size of the federal government and impacts to the Quapaw Nation, we have actually recently received some better than expected news regarding possible grant funding for our museum, our library, and the tribal court. And we continue to actively monitor the situation and will communicate any further impacts. There were quite a few past events this last month, so I'm going to go through those pretty quickly. The Higher Education Scholarship Workshop that was held on August the 6th and 20th. There was a bandolier class held on August the 16th that was sponsored by a federal grant from SAMHSA, and this class provided a valuable cultural experience for our youth. The elders' trip to historic Angel Mounds was September 9th to the 11th. A heartfelt thank you goes out to Rhonda Weaver and Debbie Bray for their excellent organization and planning. Patty Beth with Good to Go Traveling and Caden with Vikings Travel as well as our other chaperones, Linda Davis, Misty Arnold, Scott Palmer, Melanie Shawnee, and John Rogers, whose support and dedication helped make this trip both memorable and meaningful, and we'll hear more about this trip from the O-Guah-Pah Wisdom Keepers. There was a food distribution that actually occurred September the 8th through the 13th. Thank you to the Quapaw Food Sovereignty Department, Quapaw Cattle Company, and Tribal Member Services. The next distribution is scheduled for 3 months from now. To ensure you receive your next distribution, please verify that your tribal identification card is current. If your card's expired or nearing expiration, contact the enrollment department to complete your renewal to avoid missing your next distribution. There was high school heritage game at Quapaw held on September the 5th. We had the Quapaw Fall Gathering on September the 6th, and we'll hear more from the Culture Committee shortly. Wetlands Training Workshop was held September the 9th through 11th. O-gah-pah get-together was on September the 11th, and thank you to the team and Billy Bertram for organizing Quapaw Jeopardy. There was a lettuce basket workshop on September the 17th. Thank you to the Food Sovereignty for organizing this exciting event. The Oklahoma Hunter Certification course is actually happening as we speak. It started at 8 o'clock this morning and goes till 4 o'clock this afternoon. And the Quapaw Nation Marshal Service sponsored an Oklahoma Hunter Certification course at Kahota Conference Room. They'll be covering a variety of topics, including hunting safety, hunter responsibility, wildlife identification, wildlife conservation, and muzzle loading. Students must be at least 10 years of age to take the test and receive their certification. We do have some upcoming events. Farmers Market, so just to remind everybody, continues to run on the first and third Fridays of the month now through October from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., meaning there are only 2 markets left this year. The event is a great opportunity to shop local for fresh produce, handmade goods, and crafts while enjoying a meal. Keep an eye on their social media and the Quapaw Post for updates so you can support not only the market but also the many fundraisers that are often held there to benefit a variety of causes. There's a STEM Fair fundraiser that's coming up. The Quapaw Nation STEM team has several fundraisers scheduled this year. They currently have a raffle going for a hunting blind and portable hunting chair donated by Redneck Outdoor. Hunting bundle raffle tickets are $5 for one or $20 for 5 tickets. The drawing for the hunting package will be held on September the 30th, right before deer season starts. Tickets for the raffle can be purchased at the Quapaw Farmers Market or by contacting the STEM team at qnstemteam@quapawnation.com. You don't need to be present to win. Additionally, the STEM team is seeking donations for a silent auction to be held on December the 5th at the Farmers Market, where they'll also be having a baked potato fundraiser. All proceeds will support educational initiatives for our youth. Regalia Closet. The CCDF department is continuing to collect donations for its Regalia Closet program. This initiative provides traditional regalia on loan to Quapaw children from infants to age 12, so they can participate in dances and cultural events. Contributions of regalia are always welcome, and tribal members with skills in crafting boys and girls regalia are also invited to submit bids to the CCDF department to help support this important cultural effort. Quapaw Nation Higher Ed Fund Resources class. The department is hosting a special session on funding resources for graduate and postgraduate students on September the 24th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The event provides valuable information on funding opportunities available for graduate and postgrad students, and you can learn about resources, application tips, and how to secure financial support for your studies. Then, starting on October 8th, a series of free public financial education classes will be offered. These classes will be held on Wednesdays starting at 6:30 p.m. Each session will cover a different topic to help you better manage your finances and plan for the future. For best results, all 5 classes are recommended, and the classes are all held at the community building, and they can also be attended virtually. To register, please contact the Higher Education Department. Youth program has some upcoming classes. They will host a 2-day Southern Plains style moccasin making class on September 27th and 28th in preparation for Rock Your Mocks on November the 15th. This class has reached full capacity. However, they still have room for the next class, which will be from noon to 4 on November 8th and 9th. There's also a boys straight dance bells class that'll be held on October the 11th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and a Rosette class is scheduled for October 25th and 26th from noon to 3. All classes will take place at the Cahota Center and are open to ages 5 to 24. No prior experience is necessary. They might need to revise that for people, some of us. And all supplies will be provided. Parents and guardians are encouraged to participate alongside the youth. These opportunities are made possible by our youth director, Kristen Keys, and are generously supported through a federal SAMHSA grant. To register, please contact the Family Services Department. Just a reminder, the Quapaw Nation offices will be closed on Friday, September the 26th, in observance of Native American Day. The impact of Quapaw on Osage peyoteism presentation is being conducted by Daniel Swan, PhD, noted scholar of Native American religious traditions on early Quapaw peyoteism and the Native American Church on September the 27th, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the meeting rooms at Downstream Casino. This event is hosted by the Quapaw Tribal Ancestry Program and the Quapaw Nation's Business Committee, Native American Church, and Library. You must be at least 18 years of age to attend. For more information, please contact Risa Supernaw Proctor or Patty Billings. There is a Constitution Town Hall on October the 10th that I'm sure we'll be hearing more about from the Constitution Committee Chair. Quapaw Nation Cancer Awareness Committee's silent auction on Sunday, September 14th. The Cancer Awareness Committee hosted a Cancer Awareness Golf Scramble at Eagle Creek Golf Club. The next event is scheduled, is a silent auction on Friday, October the 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to raise funds in support of a Quapaw tribal member or employee currently battling cancer. All proceeds from the auction will go directly to the selected individual. They are seeking donations of baskets or auction items which can be dropped off with Kay or Jamie at Quapaw Counseling Services no later than 3 p.m. on Wednesday, October the 22nd. In addition to the auction, chili will be available for purchase during the event from 10 to 2. There's a Quapaw Lunch and Learn. We're excited to announce the return of our Lunch and Learn style language sessions this October, held every Tuesday from 12 to 1 at the Native American Church Summer House in Quapaw. These sessions will focus on harvest and Halloween themes. Join us as we share a meal and learn the Quapaw language together during the lunch hour. They'll provide meals for up to 20 people, but class size will not be limited, so feel free to bring a friend. Please note that food will be available on first-come, first-served basis, and if you're interested, mark your calendars for October 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. There are a few upcoming save the dates that we wanted to announce. The Quapaw Nation Children's Halloween party has been tentatively set for Thursday, October 23rd from 6 to 8 in the evening. The Children's Christmas party has been scheduled for Saturday, December the 13th at the Fitness Center. The Veterans Dinner has been scheduled for Friday, November the 7th, and the Elders Christmas Dinner is Saturday, December the 20th. More details will be released as they become available. There's also a low-income energy assistance program. The Quapaw Nation Housing Services Department is now accepting applications to the LIHEAP program, which helps eligible tribal households in Ottawa County with utility bills, energy emergencies such as disconnection notices, and seasonal heating and cooling costs. To qualify, applicants must be a tribal member, live in Ottawa County, and meet the income guidelines. The Housing Department has reported low application numbers and wants to ensure that all eligible individuals are aware of this opportunity. So the applications are available online, and hard copies can be picked up at the Title VI building, Admin building, or the Community building. The 2026 Powwow Committee T-shirt contest is on, so they're holding a T-shirt art competition for next year's powwow. The contest is open to all Quapaws who wish to participate. First place winner will have their design printed on the powwow T-shirts and will be the winner of $500. Second through fourth place entries will be displayed at the event. The deadline to submit artwork is November 1, and applications are now available in person and online. Our recent magazine mail-out highlighted that several tribal members have not updated their mailing addresses with the enrollment department. If you've recently moved, please complete the address change form and submit it to the enrollment department by mail, in person, or electronically. Keeping your contact information current ensures you continue to receive the latest news and updates from the nation. Just a reminder, our nation continues to grow and thrive with many exciting events and opportunities ahead, from cultural gatherings to educational programs and community services. There's something for everyone to participate in and support. To stay informed about all the latest events, programs, and announcements, we encourage everyone to visit the tribal website for additional details, or you can visit O-Guah-Pah-Communications.com and click on Notify Me to sign up for alerts by text, email, or phone call. On to the casino financials for Quapaw Casino for the month ending July 31st, 2025. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, EBITDA, totaled $354,000 with a margin of 18%. Unfortunately, a casino industry, a healthy EBITDA margin is between 20 to 40%, and Quapaw Casino missed the mark on meeting this expectation the month of July. July's results, though, exceeded budgeted expectations by $82,000 and represents a small decrease of $22,000 from July of 2024. Fiscal year 2025, they're currently sitting at $3.8 million, which is 118.6% of the first 10 months of the 2025 budget. So overall for the year, doing well. In July 25th, we received our fifth payout from Flint Co. That's on the construction of the new Quapaw Casino, and they were paid $1.1 million on Monday, August the 18th. We're currently working on payments from material supplied vendors. Construction on the new building is actually 32% complete, so that's really good progress. Regarding downstream, we have both the July as well as August financials, so I'll just give the highlights of both of those. For the month ending July 31st, 2025, EBITDA totaled $8.3 million with a margin of 44.4%. So that exceeds industry standards, so that's a really good result. It also exceeded budgeted expectations by $51,000 and were $1.6 million more than July of last year. Fiscal year 2025, we're currently sitting at $80.2 million, which is 100.9% of the first 10 months of fiscal year 2025 budget. So that's an excellent result. Fiscal year 2025 is also sitting at $2.3 million higher than July of 2024 year-to-date amount. This is an extraordinary result, especially after January's huge deficit. For the month ending August 31st, EBITDA totaled $8.5 million with a margin of 44.1%. So again, that's excellent. The results exceeded budgeted expectations by $1.3 million and were $500,000 more than August of last year. Our next quarterly mandatory payment of $6.5 million will be due here shortly on September the 30th. However, we'll continue the path of paying $7.5 million quarterly payments against the loan principal. For Saracen, net gaming revenues in August continued an impressive streak, finishing as the fifth best month in Saracen's nearly 5-year history. In total, net gaming revenue beat prior year by 9.9%. The number one revenue source continues to be slots, with handle and revenue seeing significant increases compared to prior year. Slot handle was up 11.1%, and net slot revenue was up by 6.8%. Sportsbook volumes continue to outpace prior year, with the bets placed up 15%. And the sportsbook win finished up over prior year by 86.3% due to the current year hold of 9.6 compared to 5.9 last year. So the hold was significantly better. Considerable progress has been made on the development of the hotel and event center. From a budget perspective, the development is about 75% of the guaranteed maximum price for the general contractor through the end of August and 62% of the total budget. The majority of the funding, that's 75% of it, has been generated from internally generated cash flows from operations. Utilization of the revolving line of credit to supplement cash flow has started with every effort to minimize the number and amounts of draws. Updates on when the facility will open to the public will be forthcoming, with a preliminary date for a complement of rooms in January. That concludes the Business Committee report. Thank you. Go. All right, let's go on to the subcommittee reports. Can we get a microphone to Grace for the O-Guah-Pah Wisdom Keepers? Oh, Grace is going to go to the podium. Thank you.
Last year, Carrie V., Bill Griffin, and I attended the reopening of the museum at Angel Mounds. At that time, a report was made, and they had given us a lovely, lovely item for commemoration of the event. And at that time, it was mentioned that it was made of wood, and unfortunately, the wood cracked. So they were going to make a new one for us. The elders on their trip recently brought back the new award thing, and Brenda has it here, and she'll hold it out. This, again, is in commemoration of the reopening of the museum at Angel Mounds in Indiana. Our people built those mounds. It's a wonderful place. And for those of you who went, I'm sure you had a good experience, and others should be going too. So we would like to suggest that this memorial then be placed with our museum so you can see it close up. And then at a future point, we can make a presentation to General Council. So this again is the award that we were given. This is for the Quapaw Nation.
That is fantastic.
October 2nd will be our next meeting. Elders, age 60 plus, you're a part of it. And we will have microphones available so you can phone in. And so that again is available to you. We do have some upcoming events, a lot of discussion. So again, you elders, you are welcome to join us. And again, for those out of state, you can join us by phone. So, Ganike.
Thank you. Culture Committee. Barbara?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We had a busy meeting this last week. We did pre-planning for the spring gathering. All of the departments that took place that had a part in it last year were there. And we plan on doing that again this year, similar to what we had, only hopefully it will be a little bit earlier in the spring, and we plan on having it at the powwow grounds. The grounds committee was available there, and there was no reason, thus far anyway, why we probably can't have it there. So people can use their camps again. The fall gathering was very successful. I think all of us have heard only positive comments about it. Everybody had a great time at the good old time powwow, and if you weren't there, you missed out on some fun things. We plan on doing that. People seem to want us to continue to do that in the fall, so we probably plan on doing that also to continue that. Even outsiders have approached me at other powwows that I've attended since then, and they say, oh, are you going to do that again? So apparently it was successful across the board, just not for us. So we're happy to hear that. The committee also talked about the crowns for the junior and senior princesses, and the ongoing information about that will come to the business committee. We have made a suggestion, and we will be getting that to you as soon as possible for your review. The donation that we received from the group from Arkansas that came to the powwow this year, Discussion was had on what to do with that, whether it be for the clothing closet was mentioned, as well as other activities that go throughout the tribe for children and others. So that was tabled, though, at this time. We also received a notification or a request from a Betsy Swimmer, who is apparently in charge of the Kindred Spirit 66 event in Miami this year, the 250th anniversary and the 100th, I think it was 100th, was it ever anniversary of the Route 66? And they're planning a big event, but they wanted to know if we would like to participate, and it's on July 4th, so we declined because that's our general counsel, and we felt like that would be more important. Also, if anybody knows anything about, we received information about an old pedal sewing machine. And if some of you elder ladies can remember, I mean, that's how I learned how to sew. So I know some people in here probably did also, before electricity. We received a picture from a man that has an on the Singer sewing machine. It has Quapaw Special, and it's printed right on the machine. Quapaw Special. Everett's department has investigated it, even contacted Singer, and they have no record of any Quapaw Specials being made. But it's, in the pictures, it looks like it's manufacturally printed right on there. So if anybody knows anything about a Quapaw Special sewing machine, whether it be tribal or just the town of Quapaw, we figured probably. But we know of no manufacturing company or anything like that has been found in this area with that type of machine. So if you know anything about that or know anybody that does, please let us know. We also have been preliminary looking at a new documentary that the tribe is making called Stories from the Home Place. So if you haven't seen those, try and get with John and Rogers. He can send you a copy and update you on what might be going on with that. So our next meeting will be October 17th at 11 a.m. at the museum classroom, and you're invited anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Constitution Committee, Vance Gilmore.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, commonly called, has been signed. We received feedback prior to the signing from 7 tribal members, and we evaluated that feedback and did negotiate some changes. The MOU is posted on our tribal website. At this time, there are 5 students from Stanford who have applied for the Public Policy Lab, and the class will begin September 22nd. The lab will begin with studying several books, resources on our tribe. I put together the resource list, and it was reviewed by several tribal members. 3 of the 5 students are members of Native American tribes, and the teaching assistant for the class is Ani Jennings, a member of the Quapaw Nation. The professor of the class is Professor Elizabeth Reese, and Professor Reese is the first Native American professor at Stanford Law School. She is a member of the Nambe tribe. She was born on the Nambe Pueblo and spent some of her early years on the Pueblo. Her Native American name is Willowflower, and Professor Reese is a scholar of American Indian law, tribal law, federal Indian law, and constitutional law. From 2023 to 2024, Professor Reese served as the Senior Policy Advisor for Native Affairs in President Biden's administration, where her work was focused on increasing understanding and representation of Native Americans. October 10th was mentioned earlier. At 6 o'clock in this space will be a town hall with the students and Professor Reese, and they really want to hear from you. So I would like to encourage you to come. I would like to encourage you to tell your family and friends to come. We would really like to have a full house. This visit is a joint venture between the Quapaw tribe and Stanford Law School. And this meeting came about at my request. I felt it is important for our nation's members to meet face-to-face with the students and Professor Reese from Stanford. In addition to just the town hall, it's a full day for the students and Professor Reese. It'll start early in the morning, and they're going to look at some of our marshal systems and how our marshals are deputized. And then we're going to have time with a group of elders that have agreed to meet with them. They're going to meet with some of our judges on our judicial system. We've just created a full day so that they get a solid understanding of our nation as possible. Our goals for the next few months are strong attendance at this town hall meeting. So again, I would just like to really encourage you to attend the town hall meeting, 6 o'clock in this space. We also are going to really look at our current judicial system, which was at this October 10th meeting. We want the town hall to really look at all the draft of the Constitution, and as much as possible, piece by piece, to get your feedback so we really know how you understand. We have highlighted the judicial system. Our current judicial system was created by a resolution approximately 15 years ago and then voted on by the business committee. When you look at constitutions and best practices of constitution, the Constitution should reflect your judicial system, not a resolution. So that will be discussed. 4-year length of terms, okay? We need to hear from you all. You know, it's in the current draft, and we just need to hear from you all. The general sense is that that's not what you all want, but we have to hear from you to know. We just have to know. There's going to be other major points addressed as well during that time. Another goal is we really want to do some joint work with the election committee to get what the election committee feels is needed in the Constitution. And so we have an opportunity with this. We have many opportunities that are occurring with our current situation, but we have the opportunity to clean up some of the discrepancies between the governing resolution and the 2004 election ordinance. So it'll be a draft. It's not going to be final, but we would like that to happen, and that is one of our goals. Our last goal is to get the message out to all our people that the Constitution is a framework. It's a foundation for good governance. It cannot have guardrails in place for all situations. It needs to be a document that everyone understands, and it must be written in a concise way. And when you talk Constitution, it is critical that it be written correctly. And that is where Stanford comes into play. They're going to give us their expertise in allowing this to happen. And again, it will be a draft. There's several steps that have to happen before this can be the Constitution of our people, but we feel like we're on a good course at this time. In conclusion, I would like for you all to know that it is our goal that the work product created by the previous Constitution Committee, which I was a part of, is the foundation for the Public Policy Lab at Stanford. But no, in all honesty, I expect more than grammatical corrections. There will be rewrites. When we met in the spring for the first time with Stanford and they went over some pages, it wasn't just grammatical, it was significant rewrite, and we all were aware of that, okay? And that will be the course that continues. So that's where we're at, and we're moving forward. We are currently meeting every Tuesday evening. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vance. go on to the Election Committee. Frank Frazier.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay, first off, at our next general council, we have received new voting devices. Finally, Mikey and Mikhail over there applauding for that. We have been living on a prayer with these last few years with our current voting devices, so hopefully we'll have a little tutorial about it on the next meeting, general council, on how to operate them. It should be very simple and easy to do, although physically they look quite a bit different than what we're used to. Okay, saying that, I wish to welcome our new members that are coming on. Lori will be returning, and Kim Deal will be in contact with them. Vance and I met earlier and discussed some things, so we'll be talking. Vance and I, we've exchanged phone numbers, and I think we're on the same page together with current goals in mind. Other than that, everything's good for us. We're kind of on a break right now. We don't really get fired up again until around January when we start the next voting cycle. So that's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a major milestone to have new voting devices. Cybersecurity and Planning Committee. Mikhail.
Good morning, Business Committee.
Good morning.
As you're aware, we have our final meeting when drafting the initial cybersecurity policy for the Quapaw Nation. This Monday, the 22nd at 6 p.m., those of you who have been in contact with us, we will accept any feedback up to the start of that meeting. And we do look forward to having more people participate. Other than that, I have nothing else to give.
Thank you, Mikhail. Any other subcommittees? Anyone? That's it? Okay. We're going to go on to the executive director reports, and just please note before we get started that the BC has been in discussion regarding how the executive director reports are provided. So this week, or this month, we're going to stick with our previous activities where we're going to talk about the printed report. There are copies of the executive director reports. They're at your table, right, Brent? So those are available. But we are talking about other ways to get information out to tribal members that help address some of those questions. Just wanted to let everybody know the reason we discontinued the verbal reports by the executive directors was based on a training that the BC participated in, provided by Civility, sponsored by the Constitution Committee, and based on that particular leader's review of how our meetings are conducted. They advised us that what we were doing was not consistent with Robert's Rules of Order. So we took that feedback very seriously and altered the way in which the executive director reports were given. But we've heard you, we've listened to you, and we're going to try to come up with a better way going forward. But we are sticking with our standard plan for this month. Anything else to add? Is that about right? Okay. All right, so the executive director reports were posted on the website earlier this week. There are printed copies available at Brett Devine's table. If others in attendance this morning have questions regarding the executive director reports, please feel free to pose your questions during open forum. Eric Boone, CFO, do you have anything to report beyond your submitted report?
I have nothing to add, Madam Chair.
Trenton Stand, Executive Director of Resource Management. You got anything else for us?
Chair Super, no, I have nothing further to add.
Thank you, sir. Jerry Helms, Executive Director of Quapaw Facilities Authority. Do you have anything else to report? It always seems like there's a lot going on with facilities, Jerry.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to give an update on the Longhouse project. It has long been a labor of love with some of our facilities employees. And two, to get it up and operational for everyone to use. So I'd like to tell you We did a complete remodel, and that consisted of a new roof, all new plumbing, updated restrooms, which are ADA compliant, and we added an extra stall on women's side. The kitchen, we have replaced the stove. We've done dirt work to control the water flow. And we've also put a retaining wall on the south side consisting of dirt and rock. That's where we're going to be setting our propane tank. Also, on the back porch area, that was completely redone. We were able to stay with the original rock that was in there. And we replaced the fireplace and screened in that back porch. And we have since added a sliding back barn door to close off the kitchen area whenever, you know, people are out there doing their meals or whatever, so to keep all that separate. But anyway, and I'd like to add to the guys, our facilities, utilities, and electrical personnel, we've done a lot of that in-house. And I really appreciate all the hard work that the guys did for us. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the team. Steve Stand, Executive Director of Tribal Member Services. Anything else to report this morning?
No, I have nothing further, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Steve. George Bow, your Executive Director over Department of Public Safety, had a prior engagement. So Brad Bernard, Interim Chief Marshal, is stepping in. Do you have anything else to present, Brad?
No, just to express my appreciation for your rapid response to the request that we received from the Bureau of Indian Affairs for that law enforcement assistant.
Good. Do you want to describe this emergency deployment?
Sure. So the Marshal Service as a whole, one of the requirements to work there is to obtain an SLEC. It's a special law enforcement commission issued by the Department of Interior under the Bureau of Indian Affairs. With that comes certain civil tort claim protections, but also the ability to deploy to anywhere in the nation where the BIA has law enforcement jurisdiction in an assistance capacity. So we received a request from AJ Leading Fox, who is an ASAC with the BIA, in reference to a deployment for the Northern Cheyenne Tribe in Lame Deer, Montana. Apparently there's, I wouldn't say a coup, but there's some problems with their government right now, and they've got a couple of factions that are fighting with each other. The BIA can select any law enforcement across the nation to assist with those requests, and we were one of the first calls. So I think that says a lot for the Department of Public Safety here, as well as the staff that the Quapaw Nation employs. So, we're sending a couple of gentlemen. They'll be there for 14 days, and then we'll send 2 more to replace them for a total of 28 days of law enforcement services with the BIA. Of course, travel, lodging, any pay that they make there is fully reimbursed by the Bureau of Indian Affairs at that request.
Brad, thank you. Everett Bandy, Executive Director of Culture. Do you have anything else to add to your report?
I have nothing further, ma'am.
Thank you, Everett. Barry Lindiff, Executive Director, O-Gah-pah Communications and Events.
Nothing further to add, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Barry. Appreciate that. So we are going to go on. Did I miss anybody?
I don't think so.
I'm
I think
bad
that's it.
about that. Okay, thank you.
Is everybody on the list?
All right, we're going to go on to reading correction and approval of the electronic polls. Member Mercer, would you please take the first emergency poll?
Yes, Madam Chair. The first poll was poll number 45309. It was a poll approving the submission of Indigenous Earth Grant Fund. This was for approving the submission of the application through the Liberated Capital Decolonizing Wealth Project. This was an emergency because the due date for the submission for the grant was August the 18th. The approval count was 7. This poll was certified on 8/18/2025 at 10:26 a.m.
Thank you. Member Buffalo, would you please take the next emergency poll?
Yes, ma'am. Poll number 5585. financial equipment agreement. This is for the approving the Quapaw Casino financial equipment agreement invoice and the signature on the bottom of the invoice. This was sent to a poll to not delay the process of procurement. This was approved by a vote of 7-0, certified on 9/2/2025 at 10:35 a.m.
Thank you. Vice Chair McKibben, would you please take the next one?
Yes, ma'am. Poll number 45670 is the poll for the BIA Water Management Planning Funding. And this poll is authorizing the Water Management Planning and Pre-Development Funding request and to approve the Quapaw Nation's Environmental Office or an authorized representative to carry out the deliverables of the grant. This was sent to a poll because the deadline was August 29th, 2025. This was approved 7-0 and was certified on August 29th.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and take the next one. It's poll number 45676. It was to amend Resolution 072024-D, Fee to Trust. Poll is for amending a Fee to Trust Resolution 072024-D to include the updated signatures. This was sent to a poll to complete this process and not delay it that was started back in July of 2024. The voting all took place on August the 28th and 29th. It was approved unanimously and certified on September the 2nd. Secretary Treasurer Valier, would you please take the next one?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's poll number 45771, approving and executing the Stanford Law Memorandum of Understanding. This poll is for approving the Stanford Memorandum of Understanding that will fulfill the directive of the General Counsel and further the interests of the nation through academic and legal collaboration with Stanford Law School. This was sent to a poll to fulfill the requirements of the General Counsel that the MOU be developed and executed with Stanford Law School on or before September 25th for legal collaboration concerning the Quapaw Nation Constitution. This was approved with an approval count of 5 and abstention count of 1. One was absent, and so it was approved. Certified date is 9/1/2025.
Member Davis, would you please take the next one?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Poll number 45837, Bureau of Indian Affairs Infrastructure Assistance Funding Application. This poll is for approving the submission of the Bureau of Indian Affairs Portable Milling Infrastructure Proposal of the Wood Products Infrastructure Assistance Funding Application with the United States Forest Service. This funding will be utilized for purchasing a wood chipper which will reduce hazardous fuels, improve forest health, and supply essential carbon for the tribe's composting operation. This was sent to a poll because the due date for submission is September 19th. There was an approval count of 7, and it was certified 9/11/2025 at 1:33 p.m.
Thank you. Member Gibbs-Water, would you take the last two?
Yes, ma'am. Poll number 45853, Saracen's use of revolving line of credit. This poll is for approving Saracen to utilize proceeds from the revolving line of credit for construction purposes from the revolver during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and to approve the general manager or chief financial officer to execute the draws. This was sent to a poll to not impede the construction projects. There's an approval count of 7 and was certified 9/15/2025 at 11:37 a.m. And poll number 45861, Northeast Oklahoma Electric Cooperative right-of-way. This poll is to authorize an electrical right-of-way request from the Northeast Oklahoma Electric Cooperative and to authorize the Quapaw Nation Business Committee Chair or Secretary Treasurer or an authorized representative to execute the right-of-way. This was sent to a poll to avoid delaying construction on the Quapaw Casino project. There's an approval count of 7 and was certified 9/16/2025 at 3:38 p.m. Business Committee, I so move to adopt the electric polls as presented.
Second.
Any discussion on any of the electronic polls? Okay, let's go to the vote. All those in favor of approving the electronic polls, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries and the electronic polls are approved. Let's go on to new business. Member Mercer, would you please take the first one?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, the first resolution number 09025A. This is a resolution enacting the Quapaw Nation Marriage Code. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee finds it is in the best interest of the Quapaw Nation to enact the proposed Quapaw Nation Marriage Code, and whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee desires to enact the Quapaw Nation Marriage Code effective on the date of this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved by the Business Committee of the Quapaw Nation, the proposed Quapaw Nation Marriage Code is hereby enacted. Madam Chair, I so move that we adopt Resolution 092025A.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Resolution 092025-A. Business Committee, is there any discussion on this one? All those in favor of approving Resolution 092025-A, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries. Resolution 092025-A is approved. Member Buffalo, would you please take B?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 09025-B, a resolution approving the budget for fiscal year 2026. Whereas the governing resolution delegates authority to the Quapaw Nation Business Committee to speak and act on behalf of the Quapaw Nation. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee is thus empowered and obligated to transact tribal business and otherwise speak or act on behalf of the nation in all matters. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee is entrusted and obligated to transact the nation's business, including but not limited to Quapaw Nation economic development, the establishment of Quapaw Nation enterprise, and enacting resolution, laws, and policies for the best interests of Quapaw Nation. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee has reviewed the budget and found it to be an appropriate projection, anticipating the financial needs and aiding in the future financial planning of the Quapaw Nation and its people. And whereas the general fund budget and the enterprise budget were presented and the budget has balance, therefore be it resolved the Quapaw Nation Business Committee hereby adopts the FY 2026 budget as submitted. Madam Chair, I move to adopt.
Second. We have a motion to approve Resolution 092025-B. Business Committee, is there any further discussion on the budget? Hearing none, let's go to the vote. All those in favor of approving 092025-B, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. The motion carries. Resolution 092025-B is approved. Vice Chair McKibben, would you take C?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 092025C, a resolution authorizing the submission of the Office for Victims of Crime Tribal Victim Services Set-Aside TVSSA grant application. Whereas the Quapaw Nation provides services to victims of crime through multiple services through crisis intervention, trauma recovery, legal advocacy, and outreach efforts for victims of crime, particularly those in underserved and marginalized communities. Quapaw Nation wishes to apply for TVSSA funding to continue to fully fund those services at their current level. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee wishes to authorize Weena Supernaw, Chair of the Quapaw Nation Business Committee, to sign and execute the application. Therefore be it resolved, the Quapaw Nation Business Committee authorizes Chair Weena Supernaw to sign and execute the TVSSA grant application and project if funded. I move to adopt Resolution 092025C.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Resolution 092025-C. Business Committee, is there any discussion?
I would just like to add that Steva's department, since this has been going on, those little tiny homes have been occupied full, right, Steva, pretty much? And staying, on a continual rotation, getting folks back kind of on their feet a little bit and, just helping folks along when they're in a bad place, so.
Been hard at it.
Yeah. It's a tough job for those folks in that department, but they serve our folks very well, so.
Any additional discussion? We'll go to the vote. All those in favor of approving Resolution 092025-C, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The motion carries. Resolution 092025-C is adopted. I'll go ahead and take the next one, and then you guys will have to correct me if I'm not pronouncing this acronym correctly. This is Resolution 092025-D. It's a resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding entered into between the Quapaw Nation and Creoks Mental Health Services, Inc. Did I say that right? Okay, good. Just checking. All right, whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee desires to enter an MOU between the Quapaw Nation and Creoks Mental Health Services, Inc. to serve as a mental health and substance use disorder referral source. Quapaw Nation will refer any citizen who is participating in the nation's juvenile justice program and who needs services, and whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee authorizes the memo of understanding between the Quapaw Nation and Creoks Mental Health Services, Inc., effective on the date of this resolution. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Quapaw Nation Business Committee wishes to authorize Chair Weena Supernaw to sign and execute the proposed memo of understanding. I move to approve Resolution 092025-D.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Resolution 092025-D. Business Committee, is there any discussion on this one? All right, let's go to the vote. All those in favor of approving 092025-D, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries. Resolution 092025-D is approved. Secretary Treasurer Valier, would you please take the next two, E and F?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Resolution number 092025-E, a resolution approving the Quapaw Nation Child Welfare Rate Schedule. Whereas the Quapaw Nation's Indian Child Welfare Department manages the Quapaw Nation Foster Home Program, including providing financial assistance to offset the cost of child care, and whereas a uniform rate schedule for foster care or guardianship assistance ensures parity and fairness among families who are willing and able to care for children in need. Therefore, be it resolved that the Quapaw Nation Business Committee hereby approves the proposed Quapaw Nation Child Welfare Rate Schedule attached hereto as Attachment 1, and be it further resolved that the Quapaw Nation Business Committee directs the Indian Child Welfare Department to notify existing recipients of foster care or guardianship assistance payments of the new rate schedule and confirm any existing payments to the attached rate schedule no later than January 1, 2026. Madam Chair, I move that we adopt Resolution number 092025-E.
Second. We have a motion to approve Resolution 092025-E. Business Committee, is there any discussion?
I'd like to recuse myself from this vote due to being a direct recipient of this program as being a guardian of my two nieces and nephew.
Noted. Thank you.
Throughout
Member
the
Gibbs.
duration of these meetings pertaining to this particular resolution, I've got up and stepped out of the room not to sway any portion of any discussion to the topic. Just be upfront about it.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? We'll proceed to the vote. All those in favor of approving Resolution 092025-E, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. And Brent, we've got one abstention. Resolution 092025-E is approved.
Resolution number 092025-F, resolution to approve the updated Quapaw Nation court fee schedule. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee finds it in the best interest of the Quapaw Nation to enact the proposed updated fee schedule for the Quapaw Nation courts, and whereas the Business Committee of the Nation desires to adopt an updated fee schedule to be charged in the Quapaw Nation courts, and now therefore be it resolved that the Business Committee of the Quapaw Nation says that the following updated fee schedule for the Quapaw Nation courts is hereby enacted. Madam Chair, I move to adopt resolution number 092025-F.
We've got a motion to approve Resolution 092025-F. Business Committee, is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving Resolution 092025-F, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries. Resolution 092025-F is approved. Member Davis, would you please take G?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Resolution number 092025-G. A resolution approving the renewal of a membership to the United Indian Nations of Oklahoma, UINO. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee desires to renew membership to the UINO, United Indian Nations of Oklahoma, with the purpose of working with other tribal nations in protecting and enhancing the sovereignty of tribal nations based in Oklahoma. Therefore, be it resolved, the Quapaw Nation Business Committee hereby authorizes the 2026 membership to the United Indian Nations of Oklahoma. Madam Chair, I so move to adopt resolution number 092025-G.
Second.
We've got a motion to approve Resolution 092025-G. Business Committee, is there any discussion? Let's go to the vote. All those in favor of approving 092025-G, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries. Resolution 092025-G is approved. Member Gibbs Water, would you please take H?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 092025-H. A resolution to approve amendment number 1 to the programmatic agreement among the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, Mark Twain National Forest, the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation, the Absentee Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma, the Caddo Nation of Oklahoma, the Cherokee Nation, the Delaware Nation, the Iowa Tribe of Kansas and Nebraska, the Kaw Nation, the Osage Nation, the Otoe Missouri Tribe, the Peoria Tribe of Indians of Oklahoma, the Ponca Tribe of Oklahoma, the Sac and Fox Tribe of the Mississippi and Iowa, the Shawnee Tribe, the United Kituah Band of Cherokee Indians in Oklahoma, and the Missouri State Historic Preservation Office regarding the process for compliance with Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act for undertakings on the Mark Twain National Forest of the Eastern Region of the USDA Forest. Whereas the Mark Twain National Forest proposes to amend the PA to include provisions to phase and defer Section 106 compliance for large-scale, multi-year undertakings, and to include a provision that addresses the timing of responses received from SHPO and tribes regarding MTNFs, proposed findings or effect or determination of eligibility, and all parties have agreed, and whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee desires to approve such agreement effective immediately upon its execution by the last party to sign in the interest of protecting the nation's valuable and irreplaceable cultural and historical information and resources. And therefore be it finally resolved, amendment number 1 is hereby approved, and further that the chair is hereby authorized to execute and deliver such agreement on behalf of the nation. Business Committee, I so move to approve resolution number 092025-H.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Resolution 092025-H. Business Committee, is there any discussion? I would simply like to thank the TIPO office, Everett's team, and Member Gibbs Water for putting this forward. All those in favor of approving Resolution 092025-H, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries, and the resolution 092025-H is approved. Member Mercer, would you please take I?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is resolution number 092025I. It is a resolution supporting Quapaw Nation Reserve Treaty Rights Lands RTRL project application, and to authorize the execution of the proposal with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Eastern Oklahoma Region, on behalf of the Quapaw Nation. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee supports the Reserve Treaty Right land proposal to mitigate potentially significant disruptions to area economic engines and avoid catastrophic damage to the property resulting from wildfires. Therefore, be it resolved, the Quapaw Nation Business Committee understands the Quapaw Nation Reservation will benefit from the proposal through the reduction of current hazardous fuel loads. Fuel characteristics reduction will occur by utilizing various mechanical techniques combined with reintroduction of wildland fire to the landscape. Boy, I'm having a tough time. Excuse me. Prescribed fire techniques will be utilized under the direction and oversight of highly qualified BIA prescribed fire specialists and authorize the chairperson or an authorized representative to execute the documents mentioned above in the Quapaw Nation's interest and properties. Be it therefore resolved, the Quapaw Nation fully understands the needs of the Quapaw Nation and authorizes the chair, executive director of resource management, and director of environmental and conservation to execute the letter of commitment in support of the RTRL proposal. Madam Chair, I so move to adopt.
Second.
We've got a motion on the floor to approve Resolution 092025-I. Business Committee, is there any additional discussion? All those in favor of approving Resolution 092025-I, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The motion carries and Resolution 092025-I is approved. Member Buffalo, would you please take J?
Resolution number 09025-J, a resolution to approve the purchase of a Cat D6 Tremel kit. Whereas the Quapaw Nation Business Committee is entrusted and obligated to transact nation's business, including but not limited to the Quapaw Nation's economic development, the establishment of Quapaw Nation enterprise, enacting resolutions, laws, and policy for the best interest of the Quapaw Nation, and whereas the Quapaw Service Authority is requesting the purchase of a Cat D6 Tremel kit to increase efficiency. The Tremel kit provides positioning data for accurate heading, grading, and blade alignment. Having conducted due diligence in accordance with the current policy and ensuring sufficient unencumbered funds exist, and therefore be it resolved that the purchase of a Cat D6 Tremel kit is approved by the Quapaw Nation Business Committee. Madam Chair, I move to adopt resolution number 092025-J.
We've got a motion to approve Resolution 092025-J. Business Committee, is there any additional discussion? All righty. All those in favor of approving Resolution 092025-J, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say no. The motion carries. Resolution 092025-J is approved. All right, that concludes new business, and we will go on to donations. The first donation request is from Jerry Coach on the Santa program. Could we get a microphone to Jerry, please? Thank you. Doesn't sound like it's working. Oh, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. I hope you're feeling better.
Yes. This is my 46th year with the Ottawa County Santa Claus program. And I think you guys have been with me for about 10 years. And I was just wanting to see if you wanted to be a sponsor again this year.
Business Committee, any questions for Mr. Coach?
None here. I know he's been around forever doing this in all the communities for Ottawa County children. So appreciate that.
I move to approve a $500 donation for the program.
Second.
Business Committee, is there any additional discussion? All those in favor of approving the $500 donation, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries, and the $500 donation is approved. Thank you. Thank you for what you do for these kids. All right, the next one is a Lincoln Elementary PTO request. Lori? Is Lori on Zoom perhaps? I thought she was going to be here in person today.
She couldn't come.
Oh, okay, all right. Hope she's feeling okay. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one, the Tennessee Mojo 16U request. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here for Leilani Shawnee. I'm her father. She's currently now in Cornwall playing in a tournament. She would have been here. We're asking for donations for her travel expenses for this national team out of Tennessee. And their schedules is in September they go to Mesa, Arizona for a PGF tournament. In October 17th, they go to St. Louis for a showcase tournament. In November, they go to Tampa Bay and California on back-to-back weekends. And her last tournament is in Mesa, Arizona. So this is just for traveling expenses to help her out on her quest to get a D1 scholarship. That's her goal. That's what she wants. And she's ranked 40th nationally as a pitcher.
Wow.
Her age group.
Okay.
So she's been working her tail off for this.
That's fantastic. That's a lot of travel.
Yep.
I make a motion to give $500 to the travel assistance.
Second.
We've got a motion to approve a $500 donation. Business Committee, might there be any other questions or discussion? All right, those in favor of approving the $500 donation, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion is approved and the $500 donation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next and last donation request today is Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College softball. Let's see. Is Jennifer in the room?
Nozzoni online.
Or Nozzoni? Jennifer or Nozzoni, are either one of those online? Okay, thank you, Austin. All right, we'll move on. We're going on to open forum. Just a couple of quick notes before we get started. The open forum rules remain in place. In order to speak, an individual must have submitted the form or must pertain to topics on today's agenda. There is a 5-minute time limit, 1 trip to the podium. Please be respectful and use the microphone. 1 tribal member submitted an open forum request this month. Barbara Collier.
Okay, first off, many years ago, and I know that you all have been to your classes about Robert's Rule of Order, and that's fine. But a lady stood up in a general council meeting and said, "Is Robert a Quapaw? Why do we have to follow his rules?" And I'm kind of that way. I appreciated the fact that last month you allowed tribal members to speak their concerns in more than 5 minutes. And so I have gathered a few more 5 minutes if I need them today from others in the audience, unless you want the marshal to carry this elder fat butt out of here. I appreciate you allowing me to complete my questions and concerns. First off, the FAM that Manzi and Linda went to, our family that's a beautiful museum, and I would like everybody to go and view it. It's a beautiful place. Our family was allowed to, they received some donations or loans from items from the Smithsonian, and there was different families that had purchases from a man that collected back in the 1800s and he sent a man out to gather items from different tribes around here, and our family was one of those, and it's now on display there. So they had all the families come down there at different times to show us, individually these items, and they were just beautiful. So I would recommend anybody going to see the museum. It's really a wonderful place, as they can attest to. I met with the business committee yesterday on some of the issues that I had last month, and as anybody that was here or seen the video, I lost my temper, and I really didn't know what all I said about what I said until I went home and watched the video myself, which is probably dangerous. But I do have a lot of concerns, especially with gaming, and I spoke with them yesterday about those. It has kind of been tentatively agreed that we will take the old ordinance and the new ordinance and go through it and hope to get a good ordinance from both of those combined, unless I and if I misspeak during my explanations, please correct me. Also, the issues about the criminal charges. We still have in limbo the criminal charges. However, our attorney that we were allowed to hire to defend us in this issue has written a letter recently to the Marshal's Department, and we are waiting on a response from that to see what the status might be. The business committee is unaware. It seems as though they're unaware also as to what will happen now. So we're all waiting to see. The issues that they did admit to in the last month's meeting in wrongdoings also. In the ordinance that is now in place is new and different. People aren't used to the rules and regulations as we have been for the last 20 years in the old ordinance. So there's a lot of room for error on both parts, and we admit that on our part as well as on their part. They admitted that several times last month. So we did discuss that yesterday, and hopefully we can work through some of the issues that were brought up. We are all willing, we all are on the same page to move forward, and it's in this business that I've been in for 35 years. It's not personal. It's nothing personal about family or family members or tribal members, we're all family. But it's business, and sometimes in business you disagree and you then agree to disagree, which is something that's been happening a lot lately. So we're going to move forward to try and work together, along as well as the QNGA and the Gaming Commission are working now currently with the DDA and the QCA on the same thing at the casinos. Rules and regulations sometimes go awry, and so we're going to all join together, hopefully all of us, including the business committee, to move forward with that, to get everything back in place as it should be. And that's our hopes, that's our wishes. The employees. It was brought up about employees, by some employees that were here last month, by others. When employees have the desire and the heart and the mind to really care about what's happening in their departments, it's hard for them to speak up. And when they do speak up, they're really so adamant about what they believe and what they feel. And I can go there. I was there. I was there lots of times. When they come up here and they bring up things that bothers them, or rules and regulations that aren't being met, then they're adamant about that because it's heartfelt. And there's 2 of those employees that are up for reappointment coming at the end of December. And I hope that you all, along with me, will support them in getting reappointed so that they can continue on and try to do their best with the changes that we're going to try and make and the getting along together better than we have in the past. So please support them in their desire to do what's right and to do what's best for the future of the tribe, especially in gaming. That's where our money comes from, folks. We got to have it. And if we don't have it, what are we going to lose? We all know that. We all know the answer to that. The 4 years that Vice Chairman McKibben has mentioned in the past, he mentioned last week. And those have been mentioned by Virginia and by me and by Stephen Crane and others. If you want to know something, you're supposed to be able to send in a FOIA. Is that correct? About what it is? I never have sent in one, but I know people that have. And they haven't really received the response oftentimes. So is there something that prevents us from getting that if there's a request by a tribal member?
No, there shouldn't be any.
The only limitations are what's in the governing resolution. There are prohibitions to things like personally identifying information, medical information, real basic stuff. So those are the only prohibitions I'm aware of.
So if someone wants to know something about anything that happened at a meeting or throughout the tribe, your decisions, they can request the FOIA?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the purpose.
Okay. Well, such as, some things, just like the reports, and I was glad to hear that they're thinking about maybe bringing the reports back. Even at a minimal amount, the reports are important to some people. Maybe elders more than others, I don't really know. I don't know the answer to that. But just like this morning, for instance, when you brought up the resolution for the marriage thing, my mind goes like, why are they interested in that? Why is that important why is that a decision that the business committee should make? Well, there wasn't any explanation from you all. I mean, you just read the captions and then you vote. Trenton kind of explained to Tony and I what it is, because we asked, well, why are they interested in that? So it's those kinds of things that people in general, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I don't think so, wonder about sometimes whenever you're making decisions on things. Conversation and explanation might be a little assistance to that, to those of us who really are concerned, if that's a possibility. I understand now about the marriage thing. I don't know if anybody else does, but why that's our business. But he said it was about a code for the legal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so if y'all know that, if y'all knew that before me, you're a lot smarter than I am. Also, on my request, I put gaming and I also put diversity. Again, gaming is our money. It's all we got, basically. I was glad to hear that you were thinking about revising the coffee business. For years, we have had given to us by the state of Oklahoma a piece of property up by the turnpike gate. We have a sign there. That's all we've ever had. Last year, they took part of the land for widening the road and making a turn lane. But when I did the facility study for the convenience store back in the 80s, there was no restaurant or no convenience store between the glass house on the turnpike and going off the turnpike on the bypass to a little store, convenience store in Pitcher. There was no filling station between those two places. So thusly, we were able to build the one we have now, currently. there was also no eating establishment unless you went into Miami from Bonita to Pitcher. And the eating establishment there again would have been the convenience store, what you can get to eat there. Why have we not looked into putting something there? Years ago, of course, the business committee weren't paid salaries. They didn't work every day. They were just on stipends. And they weren't real progressive because they, weren't time frame wise. They didn't have time to be that way. Why haven't some of our enterprise boards looked at that property to do something with it? A Waffle House, a Starbucks, something. It's not a big space. It's not a big space for a lot of things, but for some things it is. Now I understand the Peorias are purchasing land or leasing land by the turnpike gate across the road, and they're going to put a Quick Trip there. How much money do you think that's going to be able to make? So, unless that's not true information that I've received, we've missed out again. So diversity, to me, we have to get some businesses going besides gaming. I've been in gaming for 25 years. Don't get me wrong, gaming is very fruitful, and it's fruitful, and it's what's made us what we are, starting with Big Bingo. So don't get me wrong there. But we need something else that's more stable. And I think that this committee you know that, and you're trying to do that, but can the enterprise board, can they not get into something, somewhere? That's my question. So, unless y'all have any questions for me, that's all I got. Thank you for allowing me the time. Thank you for allowing to donate your time, those of you that did.
Barbara, I will tell you that the new enterprise board is looking at different enterprises and stuff for us to go into. One of the other things that we're doing, and you probably heard in our goal setting, is that we are trying to make the enterprises that we currently have outside of gaming more efficient. We want to make them more efficient. We want to make them more profitable. We're working hard on all of those things. So these are things that we are currently working on. It does take time to get through these things. We're trying to straighten out what we have before we really add anything else, because we got to know that we can do other enterprises at the same time that we're doing the gaming enterprises, and that we can do it efficiently and we can be successful with it. We don't want to add a whole bunch of stuff on top of us when we're not efficient and as successful as we really should be with the other enterprises that we have. So those things are in the works.
Well, that's good news to know. But we don't know that because you don't tell us.
We're letting you know when things, when we look at things, we're looking at different options of stuff. That's why we have the new enterprise development committee.
We haven't heard from them ever. Have we heard from them ever? We haven't heard from them. We don't know what they're doing. Okay. I mean, you all might know. You might hear from them, but as a group here, we haven't heard from the enterprise board.
There hasn't been anything finalized where we have set and gotten to a point that we can really state, yes, we're going after this. And then as soon as we get to a point to where they're there, that they can do that, then we'll start letting you guys know more about that stuff that's going on. But we've got to be able to exercise options. We don't want to put out a whole bunch of things. Well, we're looking at this slew of options out here when a lot of that stuff may just completely fall through, or it's just a passing glance at something.
That's understandable, but the audience doesn't know a lot of those things. And so it's wondered, and then it's talked about, and then it's wondered some more, and then it's talked about some more, and then it gets bad rumors as well as good rumors, probably more so. And one other thing, and this will probably throw y'all. The Marshals Department, if they, because of our wrongdoing, if we're doing it criminally, then they should also charge the business committee for the criminal things that they're doing wrong. So I'll just leave you with that. Thanks.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Mikhail?
I just wanted to give some clarification. I am a member of the Constitution Committee now for this final phase here. I was not actually a member of the previous committee, but I was a participant. I was more a common guest. I just want to give that clarification.
Thank you, Mikhail. Are there others who wish to, nobody else submitted a form. Are there others that wish to speak on agenda items today? Can we get a microphone to Miss Susan, please?
Yes, ma'am. They said that Barbara brought up the point about this marriage code. I know nothing of that, and several back here do not either. They said it was explained to her. Could someone please explain that to us?
I'll give it a whirl. Y'all help me here. So we have a series of codes that exist with our tribal court. There are, civil codes, there are criminal codes, a whole variety of them. And the marriage code was a piece that has been missing all along. We actually have a divorce code, and it empowers and explains what court procedures must be followed in order to complete a divorce process. We never had a marriage code. So what it does is it helps describe it fully and states the procedures. Under what circumstances might a marriage be available? What are the requirements in order to be married by appropriate parties within the Quapaw Nation Tribal Court? Think of it like that. It's like you got to come up with the rules of the road before you can actually start executing something, and these are the rules of the road for a marriage. I think, if memory serves me, I want to say a couple of years ago there was I remember a resolution regarding a marriage code, but in that particular business committee meeting, it got tabled. Now, this was some time ago, and I know there were even a lot of questions at that time. Now, don't ask something smart like, why has it taken this many years to kind of get it to come to fruition? I don't have a good response for you, so. Ms. Brenda.
I have a question. We've discussed the Quapaw gaming and, downstream gaming commissions. What about Saracen? Who's looking after Saracen?
The Downstream Development Authority.
DDA goes down there and they take care of it.
They're the ones that provide the oversight for the local management team there.
Okay. And can you you gave us a report that I know the hotel was supposed to be finished in October, and now it's been pushed back to January.
So the initial group of hotel rooms won't be available until January based on current estimates. One of the reasons for that change in date from October to January, I don't know, I would rack them up to supply chain issues based on the tariffs that were involved. So some of the furniture and fixtures that had been ordered were being manufactured in Vietnam. When basically the stories came out that the tariffs were going to be increased to, 25, 50% or whatever, a number of those production plants literally shut down in Vietnam. Then when the tariff stuff got passed, they brought the factories back online. And right now we know that this was as of last week, we know that some of our furniture and fixtures are literally sitting on a dock, not allowed to get through U.S. Customs on the West Coast. So those things, you got to have the right furniture and fixtures in order to complete the outfitting process, regarding the hotel and event center. So that's the primary cause. There are a couple of smaller delays that we've experienced, but that's the big one right now. Does anybody recall anything else? It's all about stuff being stuck on a dock.
Right, yeah. Some of the stuff was actually sitting at the dock in Vietnam, and they were not able to even get the ships out to be able to bring them over to the United States.
That's it. It wasn't the West Coast, it was
Right.
in Vietnam, sorry.
Right.
I know there's been a
They can-
problem with
yeah.
furniture getting in. I've had that problem with the coffee tables.
Yeah, so completely completely out of her. And I would like to make one more comment about Saracen. Barbara brought up last month about Saracen and some things that she felt was wrongdoing. And then one of the things is some of we had this conversation with her yesterday as well, is that there had not been any evidence provided to us for us to be able to investigate any wrongdoings happening at Saracen. So if anybody knows or has any evidence of anything that's going on, please provide that information to the DDA and to the business committee, so we do have the opportunity to look into those things, rather than going out and just saying that things are going on out in the public. Because if you're not giving us that information, then we can't do our jobs. And we're just asking you to please be diligent in providing us the information we need to have before going out and making comments like that. Ganagay.
Ronan Cahiga.
Grace.
Somebody,
Grace
my
Goodyear.
apologies. Grace Good Eagle.
I must admit, I was surprised to see, again, about the marriage proposal thing, coming from the idea that this was something that was done by business committee. As an elder, our elders have a lot of concerns about things happening. I mean, going back many generations ago, how did our people do these things? This is our life. Marriage being one of them. And so it's not really business as such. You need to hear from people. You need to know about our people. And so, again, the elders, we have a lot of concerns. A lot of concerns. And so that's my comment for now. Gonna get.
Thank you, Grace. Jerry Montgomery.
Hello. I'm concerned about two things, I guess. One of them is I had heard, you said you want to hear what we heard. I have heard that we gave a lease to a company at Saracen for 10 years, and they're paying us $1 a year. Is that true? And I heard it's a high-end gift shop and that we gave them a 10-year lease. And if so, why would we ever give a 10-year lease?
Yes. It's called Sissy's Log Cabin. And it is a premier jeweler in that part of the country, and they're currently expanding. But to answer your direct question, yes, it is a 10-year lease.
But why would we give a 10-year lease?
So
For $1.
that particular brand is iconic in Arkansas. It basically coincides with, high-end, what's the right word? I don't know what those words are. Luxury items, thank you. So it has an incredibly good reputation, and it is specifically to cater to the high rollers that actually are at the casino, that travel commonly from Little Rock and other areas.
But how's that going to improve our gaming?
It is indeed an amenity at the casino, just like Starbucks is coming in. So it's all about to enhance the patron experience there at Saracen by associating with kind of luxury or those types of brands.
About 10 years for $1?
For 10 years.
For $1 a year?
One of the reasons why the lease amount is so low is because they are tasked with, they have to pay for the entire build out for that whole area. So they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to build that area out for that. When that lease is over, and if their lease is not renewed, everything that they paid for stays.
How large is that facility?
Yeah, it's almost
over 600.
Yeah.
So we're giving them all of this, and they're only going to pay $200,000 or $300,000 to build this out when we could have done it ourselves, and then charge them amount.
No, they're building out this space. It's in the contract for, if we recall correctly, close to $600,000.
Right.
That's the amount of money that they are
basically
contractually obligated.
They're paying for everything up front.
Yeah.
So it's the whole upfront cost. If we were to build it out ourselves, it would cost us a little bit more, and then we would have to try and recoup that money.
Are we going to be able to do to see what it's going to add additionally to our amount that we make? over the 10-year period? Are you guys going to be able to show us how that really is increasing our revenue?
Oh, I think I understand what you're asking, Jerry, to attribute the financial impact of that particular, store, if you will, within the casino. Because I have to run everything based on department, but, Sissy's Log Cabin is maintaining their own financials. So they're operating their particular retail outlet, and of course, we own the financials, the collective we own the financials on Saracen Casino and Resort. I don't know if there could be a true attribution. Honestly, I don't know. If we'd be able to carve out what portion of net gaming revenue is higher or lower based on the presence of Sissy's Log Cabin. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll ask other folks.
No.
We're not giving them a penny.
No, they were just given a really good lease deal. It was like I said, it's $1. So,
Is that going to really increase our gaming, though? That's what I'm asking. Are you going to be able to show to us that these people that come in there, the high rollers, are going to spend more money at the casino than they are at the gift shop? Because they're going to take their money in the gift shop and
It's a
spend
draw. It is
$10,000
it is
on
a
a diamond and take that away from our gaming.
It's an amenity that's an actual draw. So people that would come in and shop at Sissy's would probably go in and also play on the games.
How many sissies are in Arkansas?
I
think there's 4.
4.
I think there's
Yeah.
Why would that draw them to our casino because we have a Sissy's gift shop if they're in 4 other places in Arkansas?
Yeah, there are multiple stores.
Yes.
So how is that a draw to us?
Well, from a branding standpoint. But we can follow up on if there's a way to do the type of attribution that you're requesting. We can find out. I don't know if it's feasible, Jerry, but there may be a way to do it.
You can kind of think of it this way. You've got a wife out there. You've got a high roller that's a husband, and you've got a wife out there. The wife wants to go to the jewelry store. The husband's going to go with her. The husband's going to go play in the casino. He wants to go play in this casino, or he could be playing in the casino while she's shopping in the jewelry store. We're not comping that. If you stop and think about
there are
it,
a lot of assumptions with this business deal. The assumption is that it's going to bring in high rollers, but that's, how do we measure that? I agree.
Right, that's why I don't understand the 10 years.
The
Why would they-
SDA recommended, they voted this down, actually. It was, I believe, a 3-2, and I don't know if that's still.
Yeah, I heard the DDA that they didn't vote for it, but then if their DDA is over Saracen, why did you guys override the DDA?
I did not. I voted no, so.
There are certain types of contracts, including construction, leases, there are a whole variety of things that require, based on both the DDA charter as well as our authority matrix, that not only does the DDA have to weigh in, but the BC has the final vote in certain cases. Like, for instance, we just approved the 2026 budget. A part of that overall 2026 budget, the DDA made their vote and approved. We also have to approve as well. So, and that's on a whole variety of things, including leases, real estate transactions, and construction.
I'm going to bring the lease amount to you. So if they're paying more than $600,000 for you to build out a space to be able to utilize for 10 years, that's basically around $5,000 a month lease that they're paying for, and they're paying it all up front because they're paying for the build out.
Are they going to show you their facts that they spent $600,000 for a 600 square foot place?
Yes, that is part of the requirement.
What can they put in there for $600,000 in a 600 square foot that costs $600,000?
That I don't know, Jerry. I don't know.
got
I
pictures?
genuinely don't know.
I think you guys should just do a little more research on this rather than just, and why 10 years? I mean, seriously, why 10 years? I was in purchasing for 34 years, so I know what business is like. And did you guys go to anybody else or just Sissy's?
What came before us was just Sissy's.
And what about Starbucks? What are they going to charge? What are we charging Starbucks, and how long is their lease?
Do y'all remember?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what the.
Is it 10? Is it 10?
Yeah.
Seems right.
I'm just trying to tell you the rumors that are out there and what's going on, and I just would like to get the facts from you guys. And then also under the subcommittees, we didn't say anything, but we turned in a letter for a letter of engagement for an attorney for us, for the ethics committee, and I'd like to see if you guys have approved that yet.
No, we have not.
Do you know how long it's going to be? Because we need an attorney, and we need him right now. To be able to- And this is the attorney that we turned in was the only one that we could find that would represent us, and that didn't have a conflict of interest with you all.
All of that information is currently under review.
How long
If
is
you'll
it
let
gonna
us,
be?
give us some time to be able to review all of
How
that.
much time can we say?
We should be able to make a decision this week because we've been presented the information and the other attorneys that were consulted and didn't want to engage. So
You guys could, this week, next week would be awesome, because we've got the gift.
we should be able to do it this week.
Thank
if
you.
we
Wish I
have the
didn't have any
information.
trouble.
Thank you, Jerry. Barbara?
I have a question. Is that working? As a regulator, I have a question of something that I was told about Saracen, now that we're talking about Saracen, that this jewelry store is going to be allowed to put their jewelry overnight in the vault of Saracen.
Let us follow up on that because I do not believe that is the case. They have their own vault. That was an exclusion.
We were not going to be responsible for that.
I hope not, because I think that would not be.
No, that's an
I
issue.
think that'd be against the rules.
That's an issue.
Yeah, that would be a big
Agree with you.
issue for someone to have access to the vault where your money is,
And I also think they have.
where their money is.
Right.
Not our
And
money.
I-
They were supposed to provide their own security as well.
Well, it wouldn't matter about security. There's rules and regulations, man traps, money
Right.
vault. And, I mean, there's rules and regulations about the vault and the money that goes in and out of the vault that someone else would not be allowed
Right.
unless they follow those rules, but it doesn't include jewelry.
Understood.
Just
Agree
my
with you.
question. Yeah. Thanks.
Roman Cahiga.
Good morning, Business Committee. A handful of things have come up just in the open forum. Did I hear correctly that the DDA voted no, and then the Business Committee overrode that vote to allow this transaction that we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of information is missing, questions that couldn't be answered for you guys to make a decision like that. My first comment was going to be about the marriage code. I can't add much more than what's been said already, but this is a perfect opportunity to have consulted the general counsel and missed the boat on this entirely. Do we even know what's in the marriage code? Do we allow same-sex marriage, for example?
We didn't get into that. It just talks about marriage. We didn't go into the weeds on that kind of.
So we just approved a code today that you didn't get into the weeds on, and we don't know what's in it. Is that a fair?
No, we know what's in the marriage code. We received multiple drafts as they were being kind of evolved over time.
Does it address same-sex marriage?
It does not. It remains silent on the topic.
Okay. Just want to ask that. The other thing, thank you for the appointment. I think, I don't know, this is the first time that I've heard about this, just so everybody knows. I haven't been consulted about this reappointment. I feel like I need to meet with the current Constitution Committee because there are multiple things on the table. I have a complaint that I formally lodged with the Business Committee to address. I've sent that email, and I heard crickets in response to that. And I don't know how proper this would be, so I just want the Constitution Committee to know that we should probably talk about the things that have been happening in the background. So I just want to put that out there also. I had one more, resolutions. Our governing resolution asks that everything to be posted 10 days prior. I know that we missed that boat this month, but this is starting to be a standard that we just ignore the 10-day posting. And I would just ask that we kind of realign ourselves with the governing resolution and get that information posted with the stuff that's being approved, like, because the tribal code or the marriage code's not on the website right now. So it's just the resolutions.
So we did indeed miss the 10 days by 6.5 to 7 hours. It was one of those, it's called an administrative mistake. I don't know if you've ever done that, but sometimes I've got things ready to go to hit the send button. I think I sent it, and then I realize, oops, I did not. I completely agree with you, Roman. We need to be very diligent about following what it says in the governing resolution. 10 days is 10 days. 6.5 to 7 hours late is not 10 days.
Where does that get posted at?
Tribal website.
We're at on the tribal website, because I've looked and I've asked others to look just to make sure that I wasn't missing it, and it wasn't on there. It didn't show. It only shows up in the link with the business committee announcement. I looked on the agendas page. Nothing. There was the agenda, but no resolutions.
Where I always look for it is just as you described, when the business committee link, that whole section, if you follow that link, then the resolutions as well as the electronic polls are out there. But that's the expected location from what I understand.
It used to be under
Yeah.
news flash, but I don't
Did
know why
it?
that's changed. I think it used to be like a news flash thing, and then it
Okay.
would show that, but I think it's since changed.
All right. Maybe that's my error. Maybe I didn't see it. I mean, but others are not seeing it also, because we've all followed the same process that you're describing, and like none of us were able to find it because we all had questions about similar stuff. The last thing is the MOU that was signed. The language in the phone poll is concerning because it adds language that was not a part of the actual vote at General Council. And I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, that the General Council didn't say on or before. General Council said before September for the MOU to be executed. So just read what you're signing. Don't believe everything that you're seeing is what has been asked for, right? Joey, you said last month, General Council should have been clear. If that's what they wanted, General Council should have been clear that that's what they wanted. General Council was clear in their language when they said and voted for overwhelmingly before September. So, be that as it may, the document is signed. Don't know how far that's going to go. So this is some of the stuff, Vance, that we need to talk about. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Anybody else? Vance Gilmore.
Your letter did go to Constitution Chair, which I now have. And I would just like to clarify in terms of being the point of contact, I have clarified the financial situation. So the financial matter, I have clarified with Stanford. That I wrote a letter, and so in that piece, I did clarify that piece.
I think there's a lot more to that when the tribal member is disparaged openly by when a tribal member is disparaged openly by a professional who we are going into business with and engaging with, and that information was based off of inaccurate information that was endorsed, if you will, by our chair. There's more to it, Vance, than just, it's like, oh yeah, sorry, won't do that again. That's not good enough. That's not good enough for me, and that's not good. That shouldn't be good enough for this business committee to accept that. That's all right.
Well, the root of that information could only come from one of three places. Because there were only three people privy to those emails at that time. That would have been Derek, Ani, and Weena. So that information could only come from one of three places. So that's as clear as I can make it. And I do apologize for me for your character being slandered. So,
Austin Headley.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, as Man said underneath the news flash, the business committee September meeting information Zoom link, and it includes the agenda, resolution, polls, and director's reports.
Can you repeat that?
All the resolutions, agendas, and polls were posted ahead of time, like what was discussed between Roman and the business committee. We did miss the 10-day period. We're supposed to be posted by 6 or 7 hours, but it is on the newsflash section, the front page of the website.
And how do you get to it?
You said on the news flash, Austin, so it's one of those where you get to the home page and you keep scrolling down, and it's one of the links at the bottom of the page?
One of the links at the top of the page. Yes, it was posted on September 17th. I do see that. Yes, I imagine it was posted somewhere on the website beforehand, because when we get them from Brent, we do post them. I don't personally post them, but our department does post them. I can get some clarification and see where it's posted at before. But yes, on Newsflash, it was posted on the 17th, which would be 3 days ago.
I don't know what newsflash is, so.
The front page of the website.
And find how to get to that, what you're talking about.
It. Yeah. Do you have access to that?
Barbara, I'm just gonna put it on the TV here.
Okay.
See if you can.
Vance, while Colin is doing that, can I ask a quick question? You had mentioned the Constitution Committee will meet every Tuesday. Will that be available by Teams, or how will that be? And the time?
Yes, by Teams.
Okay.
Hey Barbara, so I just pulled up the website. I'm just gonna scroll down a little bit. And this here, I believe, is like the news flash section. See, and then there's even a view all news. So I believe if you click here, this is the news flash page. So this will be like everything lands here. There's the Zoom link for today. Agenda, resolution, polls, director's report.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Lori, I'm looking for the day we can Google it.
Austin, can we follow up from a webpage standpoint to see why there's a difference between where it's located at what point in time prior to the BC meeting? I know you said you don't post it, but it'd sure be nice to get some consistency out so people understand where to expect to see these materials. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll have something.
Okay, thank you. That might be helpful.
Hey, Weena. Jennifer Sosie's here for the donation form.
Jennifer, do you want to come on up and we can review the donation form that you submitted? Thank you, Joey. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, now this one's for NEO softball.
Yes, my oldest daughter plays. Najoni. And she has a fundraiser going on right now, and they were asking like 500 from her to help with her seasons for their equipment, warm-up gear and stuff. And so that's what she got going on. That's what we was asking help for.
I move to donate $500.
Second.
To the
All right, great. Business Committee, are there any additional questions for Jennifer regarding this particular donation? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the $500 donation, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. The motion carries and the $500 donation is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck on the season.
Thank you.
Anybody else regarding open forum? Can we get a microphone, please?
I said several years ago, when we had Flossie, she brought up building something down by the turnpike, and it was thumbs down. We have a real busy intersection out here leading out of Quapaw. I attend Title VI every Thursday, and you would be surprised how many tourists go through there trying to find our gift shop. Why in the world don't you utilize the corner over there that you supposedly spent a fortune for, build a new gift shop where it can carry, because Karen has no room to put anything in hers, and build a snack bar. That is an ideal location for tourists going through there. And I was told Lloyd was suggested putting the White Buffalo over there as a future attraction. Why don't you do something with that corner over there? It's heavily traveled. And you'd be surprised how many tourists I could talk to leaving Title VI at noon. Where's your gift shop? And I'm kind of embarrassed because it just looks like one small bedroom. Karen has no room for anything.
Beverly, thank you for that suggestion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Well, let's go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Let's go
sorry.
ahead and do the closing prayer.
Yes.
That's totally my fault. Vice Chair McKibben, would you please close us out in prayer?
Yes, ma'am. In Tate Wakanda, Creator, Father God, Savior Jesus, thank you for this beautiful day, this rain you blessed us with, this Nisi. Thank you for letting us come here and gather and allow us to do this business here on behalf of our people. Thank you for this place we have out here that we're able to come to and enjoy this place that you blessed us with here. Give everybody safe travels back to their home place and let them find it in good order. Give them a good day, a good afternoon. Thank you again for this opportunity we have here in front of us. Amen.
Amen.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. We are adjourned at 11:17.